Freedom 35, 5, 5, 5.
Dude, start the podcast.
Wow.
You ready, Freddie?
Ready? What happened to Gordon?
Gordon got the week off. Yeah, Thanksgiving. He's still recovering.
I just hope that he's still recording, you know. But welcome back, everybody, to Freedom 35ers Cardano NFT Podcast, episode 7, technically episode 8 for all the OGs out there. My name's Tommy. I go by TOMMY.
My name is TJ. I go by Lazy T.
And I am the other Tom. I go by Lavish Bear.
Tonight, Fart Cuban. So, Tom, your names, you always get me every single week, man.
You got to change it up on Zoom. I don't think it shows, but I like to change it up, catch you off guard.
It doesn't. It's always something nice down there. But Fart Cuban, I've heard he's really big on Shark Tank. So
closes all the shitty deals.
Shark Tank. Oh my god.
Well, everybody. I mean, we got coming back from Thanksgiving. A lot to talk about this week. Big record-setting CNFT sales from Pavia and Hosky. Just even tonight, as we're recording this, there's some emerging blue chip projects that look like they're starting to develop inside of Cardano, and we're going to be discussing a little bit where we'll be this weekend over at Art Basel down in Miami. But yeah, recapping, guys, yesterday we had the privilege of getting to sit down and chat with Fettuccine from the Angel Baby Hit Squad guys. That was a fun interview yesterday. How'd you guys feel about that?
It was cool to see how he started out. He said he just, spent $500 to start, and he invested in Cardano, and it just kind of went from there. And he established himself in the community and made Angel Baby Hit Squad, and it was just cool to see where he started and where he's at now from just this year alone.
Well, and I mean, his thing is kind of what we're after with Freedom 35,
exactly.
Especially showing the community that Cardano is established, and he's been early in, so he knows a lot more people. But it was Greek Freak, I think, that they were doing the it wasn't Bizarre Stars, but the NBA Pro one. And he kind of
Top Shots, I think.
Yeah. He kind of clued him into the space buzz. It's just a $500 investment, and then it grew from there. But just that getting the right connections in this community right now, getting it early in on the right project, and he was able to go full-time NFTs. I mean, that's kind of what our whole focus and show is about.
It was cool to see the real side of it too. And like when he said he sent from Coinbase, so now he has 2 space buds just chilling in the Coinbase wallet when they eventually hopefully can get it back from there. But it was just cool to see that even he made a mistake as well of sending from that wallet. It's not just, it happens to everybody, or it can happen to anybody, I should say.
Yeah, I want to see if you can you see that? Like, is there a pool PM, but for the Coinbase?
Yeah, you can see the actual Cardano wallet on it. Yeah. So just for everybody playing like catch up who hasn't seen the sit down, which it should be out by the time this podcast comes around, is when he was first minting SpaceBuds way back in the day when they first had come out, he actually sent his ADA from an exchange, and it got a lot. Like you said, that's the #1 rule right now, that everybody says inside of this: make sure you don't send your stuff from an exchange. Well, he did that, and there's 2 SpaceBuds that are just like sitting in limbo right now. That, like you said, he appreciates them every now and then just to kind of watch them, then let him see him sitting there still in his wallet, but not being able to do anything with them. And that was a crazy story, and that's a harsh lesson to learn, especially on a space. But can you imagine just having those 2 trapped right now, and there's nothing you can do about them? Just kind of sit there and just watch them. Like, hey guys, I know you're still there, but I can't get you at all. It's like that guy with
10 grand just chilling right now, just in my wallet. I can't touch.
Yeah, maybe it's a good thing. Who knows?
That's true.
We were talking about it yesterday, right? Like, he was like, what, maybe years from now when Coinbase opens up their NFT thing, and he's able to get that stuff and extract those out, and they may be worth a few $100,000. Who knows?
Well, he said they were doing a recovery, and they're going to focus on Ethereum first. That makes sense. It's just bigger. It's the larger chain with more people and more money, so they're going to do that one first. But you'd think that Cardano would be soon to follow after that does roll out. And it's why, I mean, for us, it's crazy because we see SpaceBuds, we see the floor, so it's so much money. But for him, when he first got it, it was like a new project. So imagine when that first started taking off, and he started seeing it and goes, shit, I have 2 of these sitting there. And
right.
Now they're really taking off, and they're in like the shadow realm, just doing nothing.
The shadow realm.
Dude,
that's been banished.
I think luckily he said, like, it's crazy to learn, like, somebody who's been in this space, like Fettuccine has been, I'm sure if you've been in the CNFT community for a little while, you've at least seen him, whether in a Twitter space. He has another project he did earlier in the year with Shapes Ada, and he's been through like part of each different community or part of different teams as it's been going on, and then obviously with Angel Baby Hit Squad. But seeing where he started from, like we were saying, like literally minting a space bud for 10 ADA, and then as it tiered up even higher, that's such crazy. Like it's got to be such a weird thing to see where it's come from. Like we say, it's, you know, it feels like a year every month that goes by. I can only imagine where he's really like sitting at right now. It's like, wow, like coming full circle, like, you know, from what he's been able to do with that early investment, like he said, from Freedom 35, in order enabling him to actually start his own project and pretty much be on the Freedom 35 path right now. Like he said, he's doing his own thing, has his own stuff, and he can do what he wants. He came from a marketing job, right? Is what he said, over in New York.
Yeah, like, so exactly like you said, how much it seems like the space has changed or much time has passed. Like when I try to remember how long it was when I minted my first project, and it really wasn't that long ago, but it feels forever ago. So many projects and so much stuff and so many rug pulls in between. Like today's the 1st of December, where it's like Fettuccine, what he was doing last December, you know, which was probably just going to his job and doing his thing. He might have been in some cryptos and stuff then, but then to where it's at now, where, you know, he's getting to go to New York City and go to Miami for these for the art festivals and the NFT meetups and stuff like that. I mean, it's become a whole world now.
Yeah, and he gets to create his own project and like promote his own thing. It's really cool. So we were good shout out to him, and that interview, that was a fun one. It was very informative, and it was kind of a chill like conversation too, like kind of catching up and like listening, like, oh, that's a cool story what you have right there. Here was our experience, and then kind of translating like what we're starting to go through, and like probably the early days of how he was coming up on that. So his Angel Baby Hit Squad, you know, it's a cool project. They're about to do their first airdrop here in a few weeks, and it's starting off with Jason Matias, who we did a sit down with as well. And it was kind of cool to hear about how he actually handpicked the 14 different artists that are doing the airdrops inside the CNFT space. You know, he pretty much picked a different realm of each to encompass, I guess, the actual CNFT community itself. Like he started off with like Jason, who's an actual photographer, you don't see too many actual photographs inside the you see a lot of profile pictures and different types of artwork, but he like specifically picked that to kind of go first. And the way that he's giving these guys the block too, not just dumping all the airdrops in at once, he's given it 3 to 4 weeks each time to kind of give the limelight to each of those individual artists. I think that's a kind of cool approach that he's taking with these guys.
Yeah, I think we all agree with that. It's something we didn't consider, which is what we like about these sit downs, is getting to talk to them and hear their thought process. Cause okay, this is their drop structure. That's cool. I never think of like the marketing side of it that he's coming from. Mm-hmm. So to hear that, and then to compare it, like the only other big airdrop that I know of as far as with different projects was the CNFT con, but where, you know, they saw how that went down and that they all came out at one time, and their idea was to spread them out and let them kind of breathe on each other. Was really interesting. And also, like you said, choosing the projects. I didn't know so much thought and kind of strategy went into that to really try and bring people from Ethereum and bring value to the people that were on Cardano that got in. Where I just saw it and was like, these are huge names, and I want to get in because of that. But there was actual real thought. I mean, he also mentioned how many people were reaching out to him, wanting to jump in, which makes sense. So, you know, he kind of had to start really picking and choosing.
I didn't realize that the airdrops were going to sit around for a few weeks like that. I thought that was a nice idea, that just showing the respect he has for each individual artist and project that he chose to kind of get their time. Like he said in the limelight, I thought that was an awesome thing he was doing with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I just like the fact that they're, like you said, he's highlighting like what he feels like it encompasses, like what represents the Cardano community itself with those airdrops. And so I think, like I said, it's this all-star kind of cast for CNFTs. So, and it gets the people who are holding that Ethereum NFT to jump into Cardano's world. It forces them to kind of, okay, you guys need to have a wallet, and you're going to get an airdrop for this artist right here. And hopefully it's going to, you know, bridge those two communities to start, you know, coming into this world and vice versa, because eventually he said sometime in mid next year, he's not given an exact date yet, but they're going to be doing an alternative release on Cardano only. It's going to be the Demon Baby Hit Squad, and it's going to be a 1-to-1 whitelist for your Angel Babies on that. So that'll be kind of cool to get Cardano to kind of, I don't know how the utilities need to go back and forth on that one, but it seems like he's got a good plan.
I want to know how many of the projects that are going to be airdrops like have already started. You know, Jason obviously has his done. He's been previewing them on his Discord, and they look crazy. The angels he's coming out with, and I'm super excited for those. I think that comes out the 10th, I think, of December. So in about 9 days from when we're recording, but they're going to lock the wallets. They said about a day or two before. So you have to have them in your wallet already. But for the other projects, I want to know, like, does Yummy already have theirs done and they're just waiting for their date, or, you know, who's going to be the kid that waits the last day to do their assignment kind of thing, you know? Like, well, my, you know,
Turn their homework in late.
yeah, my philosophy was always, oh, it's due tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah,
So,
right.
you know, like,
Work best under pressure.
yeah. So, like, are there going to be some that are just like, yeah, this came down to the wire, we just got all these done the day before our airdrop, sweet.
Well, I think he did a pretty cool thing because they have like a tiered approach where I think up to 5 tiers, depending on how many angel babies itself you hold. Like there's some guys who hold over 100, which are like in that super high tier, and they have their own little section of the Discord that are different roles. But I think Jason's doing 5 different pieces right now. So it's going to be interesting. He basically said, make it angel themed to all the airdroppers, and what they come up with is up to them. So I think it's kind of cool to give them their creative freedom, but at the same time, it's like, how detailed do you really want to get with it? Because you can really start to tier it out that way. And obviously you're going to have, different rarity. I wouldn't call them rarities, but you're going to have, not everybody's going to have the same thing, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, he said at least everyone had to have a minimum of 5 like variations of the airdrop. It wasn't just like one single airdrop, which we've discussed. We've kind of been concerned about, you know, it does make it a little more special then, because if everyone gets the same thing, it's kind of like, but this will make it a little more rare and everyone kind of gets something different.
Yeah, you saw that with the CNFT con, the Legacy Pass, which I hold one of those as well. And it was awesome to see all the different ones. But again, all of them, like you said, they were dropped at once, and then pretty much, you know, as Fettuccine mentioned as well, it was like a race to the bottom. It was like, you know, sell off the ones that they don't care about, and the ones that do, you know, that did a little bit more well. And it didn't, like you said, give the limelight maybe to some of those artists who did spend that time out there doing that. So it's kind of cool to see the marketing approach from him on that. And then it's just it was fun. It was fun to talk to him, just learn some of the stories that he had out there. So
yeah, because honestly, you don't really get to enjoy them. Like, I know the big one, I know the Yummy one had like the 5 variations, and then they kind of had collabs. Those were really cool. But then you just kind of, once everything drops at once, everyone's just looking at the Yummies, and then you kind of overshadow some of the other projects that, like you said, spent time to do this and kind of deserve their, you know, appreciation for it. And they just kind of get overshadowed by the bigger names that are in that project, especially that one where Yummy was one of the bigger ones. This one has so many big names, it kind of allows them to really, and then the community can get involved. You can be on Twitter showing them off, and everyone can enjoy them for a few weeks, and then the next one comes out and you get excited again. Yeah.
And I think the other cool part that he did mention, I know they're doing it now, is that if you want to purchase with ADA, they're allowing that option to be a thing too, is you can actually go to their Discord inside of Angel Babies and request an escrow ticket. And what they'll do is pretty much, I think it comes out to roughly about 290 ADA, I think is what he said yesterday. And you can send that into them. They'll go ahead and, you know, they're going to ask you to create a MetaMask wallet, you know, get your seed phrase and all that stuff written down for yourself. And then they're going to ask you for your wallet address on Ethereum. And from there, they'll go ahead and purchase it and allow the mint to happen and push it directly to that wallet for you. So they're actually even helping you, you know, make that process so much easier for the people who are just like, I really have no clue what to do right now. So I think that's cool of them to go ahead and do that. And then what do you call it? He's down. I know we just mentioned it too. He's down in Art Basel down in Miami right now. That just started, I think, today, right? Tonight.
Yes.
And that's going through Saturday this week. So we had actually gotten tickets from Jason Matias. I think he sent them out to everybody in his Discord as well. And so he's down there this week. And I think me and you are going to make an appearance down there this Saturday.
I'm excited. Yeah, it'll be fun to go down there. It's been a while since I've been to Miami, and you know, it'll be cool to actually get to I mean, some of these people we put some faces to now, to the names, but you know, meet them in person. Yeah, kind of get to interact with them, you know, and hang out and just see some of the art too. It'll be fun. And seeing Jason's art too, that's a big thing. I mean, I've been following it on Twitter, but he's got a whole room to himself. It's wild. I'm excited to see all that because his pieces are so big. You know, you really can't, the screen doesn't do it as much justice. Like I'm excited to see like that high quality in person.
Well, I think pretty much too. I don't know if you saw Jason's tweet. I'm going to go ahead and start bringing up these screens here. But if you looked over here, Jason, he literally was like, I'm the only photography booth at Red Dot right now. It's probably nothing. And it's just him with the Edge of Solace piece that we were talking about over there.
I didn't see this one. I did see some of the other ones of him by his pictures there. I saw the one too, the video of like, you know, he was showing his whole area. And then I think Allie was like crouched down there, sticking her tongue out at him. But I also saw that, you know, he had a bit of a scare where they got there and they were missing some of his pictures. his pieces. And at one point, they think they thought one of them was in Orlando, you know, up here. I was like, I'll throw it in the back of the jet. It will fold it up. It'll be fine. Right. But
yeah,
I think it's that one you're showing
us
right now with the red tree. That was the one I think they thought was in
Ventusora.
Orlando, and then they thought it might have actually been in, I think they found it in Miami. I actually didn't hear the full resolution, but obviously it's there. So it's exciting.
That's dope. I'm looking forward to go actually see that there on Saturday. So if there's anybody listening, that'll be over at Art Basel down in Saturday. Hit us up, via DM them through Discord, through Twitter, or something like that. We'll would love to come meet you guys and say hi. We'll definitely be trying to check out Jason's stuff and meet up with Fettuccine as well. So moving forward, though, this week was, we thought it was maybe going to be a quiet week here for Thanksgiving. Everybody's going to chill back and relax a little bit, and things are going to be nice and easy. But little did we know, is two of the biggest CNFT sales in history here so far, at least on the network, went down this past week, and one including tonight. But Pavia, I know we talked about Pavia last week, and the Metaverse was a big conversation of our last podcast. But little do we know, I didn't expect this either, for this to blow up the way that it did. They had 31,000 land sales in addition to originally, I think they had 21,000 on the first sale, and they added another 31, or sorry, maybe it was 29,000 for the first sale and 31 for the second, to total 60,000. Yep. So this map expanded out here, and dude, that sale, I don't know if you guys were following that day. I think it was the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. But dude, that sale went down, and 20 minutes later, it broke the network. Like, there was just so much going on at that point. And I think 31,000 plots sold out in like, it was 20 minutes, something like that. And they had over, was it 7 million, I think, like actual like dollars worth of ADA that in refunds.
Damn.
It was literally one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Like you see the 10K mints that's starting to struggle a little bit right now. They even sell out. Can you imagine that 3 times that sold out in 20 minutes? And it was at a 45 ADA price point too. It wasn't anything cheap. But clearly the Metaverse is a huge thing that's here to stay right now. And I think 2022 is really going to start to see the opportunity start to arise from this. But what are your guys' take on this whole Metaverse and Pavia and what's going over here here in the future with this stuff?
I'm just upset I was on a 10-hour drive and I couldn't even attempt to do this mint. I really wanted to get this. I mean, I'm going to get one, but I'm just upset I couldn't do it on mint day.
You can't just hand the 1-year-old your phone and let him start pressing buttons.
Yeah, copy the address, send it over. No, but the Metaverse in itself is, I'm excited for that. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what exactly they do with that. Are we going to be able to put the VRs on or be like Ready Player One style, walking across all the land? And I see Santa going across the map right now. Is he going to land on my plot and give me some presents? I mean,
all right, it's just an airdrop in actual physical presence. How funny would that be? Like, if it just lands on your actual plot, and all of a sudden, boom, a new NFT just pops into your wallet. Can you imagine some stuff like that?
That'd be sick.
That'd be crazy.
When did they do this? Because you're sharing your screen right now, and it's the land for Pavia. It shows all the little plots and the pictures, but I have not seen it with the snow. Snow is falling. Santa Claus is flying across with the reindeer. I have not seen any of this. I like that a lot. It's very cool.
I'm pretty sure, like, I was looking today on their actual Twitter, and I was scrolling through it, and they were just they put a little tweet, like notification out to everybody, and they were like, somewhere around here, but anyway, that was like, hey, there's a little map update today, and it was like a little Santa thing, and they're like, just keeping an eye out for everybody right now. We may have updated the map, and that was what it was. It was like the little Santa, the snow, and all that stuff. But yeah, it's the first time I've seen that. But the crazy part to me is this whole Metaverse itself. Like, I don't know if you guys have been seeing this, but I don't know. I feel like every day that we've been talking about this now, it's popping up more and more inside the news itself. Like every day, like on Instagram, the NFT thing, like Decentraland sold $1 million like plot of like land the other day. Adidas just bought a piece of land in the Metaverse. Like it's not going away. It's just getting started right now.
Well, I just want to know if you can go from like world to world or land to land within a network, because that would be really cool. Like if I wanted to go to the Claymates world from Pavia, I mean, is that like, do I wait in a loading screen in my VR like you would a video game, or is it going to be one fluid transition where you're just walking across and then
they have to, right? Like, to me,
yeah,
the whole point of it is that it's meant to be this like internet 3.0, they call it, kind of thing too, where it's all connected. Like, it wouldn't work if each one was its own exclusive thing that you have to spend, in some cases, thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars on Cardano. And then, there's some projects on Ethereum where it's much higher entry point. I mean, if you had to do that for each one, it just wouldn't work. So I
Right.
feel like they have to, I mean, we're still so early, of course, on the metaverse, let alone the Cardano NFTs. They have so much development to do, and you know, all their work's in front of them. So I wish them the best of luck because it's exciting. But I'll be curious to see, even this early in, you know, if as it develops and other projects are working on it, if someone comes in that has more to it, they could easily surpass one of these too. It's not just like because they're the first, you know, it's like MySpace or Friendster, you know, they could, Pavia could be the big one now, it could be the MySpace, but if someone comes out and just has it all working right, like Facebook, they could explode past them. So it's an exciting space right now, and it'll be, but I agree though, TJ, like it has to be connected. Like in the end, like it has to be a Ready Player One or something where it's one world. Otherwise it seems just too exclusive.
I don't know if you guys have seen, I was actually scrolling through Pavia's Discord, because I know that was one function of them that got me interested in the first place, was that they were looking to be cross-chain. They weren't trying to just stay on Cardano alone. They were actually trying to swap into like Decentraland. So that actually looked a little more research into it. They actually have their own, they bought a plot of land, Pavia, inside of Decentraland. So they own land, and they said they're going to take that parcel of land inside of Decentraland to make it a portal into Pavia.
That is sick.
So that right there to me, automatically,
like
because you see Decentraland, I think they started in 2017, so they've been established. It's been 4 years, you know. So if Pavia is able to port into that right there, that automatically gives it a new edge already, because Decentraland is so established, and you see the sales in the marketplaces that they've already developed that way. So if you can somehow portal the two right there, and then obviously bring in, you know, portals to other metaverses and different things inside of Cardano. I mean, Pavia seems to be the lead runner on all this metaverse space right now, and their technology that they're implementing already is pretty insane. Like, I don't know, we were talking about it, TJ. I think the Cardano kitchen, I tweeted something the other day about it, and the 3D version of it. I have it sitting here. Yeah, this right here, it looks like what an actual plot of land could look like, and they're taking the Cardano kids, the Cardano kids NFTs and things like that they're able to actually bring CNFTs to life inside of Pavia, which is, I think that's the real true, like, you know, metaverse, right? Is you're able to take these NFTs that you've minted through other projects, and they're able to scan these in and make them part of your online world. So it's not just, I don't have a, you know, like a digital piece of art in my wallet. I have a physical piece of art that I can now interact with inside of my digital world. And I think that's where this metaverse thing is really starting to take place. And it's not just going to be like a game or anything like that. It's legit like going to be a marketplace. I saw something like crazier where there was like somebody had bought like a hotel space inside of like the Decentraland, and is looking to like charge like rent or something crazy like that, where they're like, it's like literally like becoming like the real world inside of this digital world. And we're just scratching the surface. I feel like this is like the internet, like 1.0, when this stuff, they would call it like web 1. We're not even close to what this is going to be. This is all like, everybody right now is just thinking VR goggles, I'm going to walk through this thing, and what am I going to do? It's going to be like The Sims. And I think there's a deeper layer to all this stuff that we don't even know about yet. We're just kind of, like you said, scratching the surface.
Well, I feel like I'll be living up to my name with this question, because I know, Tom, we talked about this off camera recording here, that I hope there's different inputs, because do I have to walk around like Ready Player One every time, or can I use a controller one of these days? Because I might be tired one day. I don't want to actually walk around my VR. What I want to use an Xbox controller or a PlayStation controller just to move my guy around for a little bit. So I'm interested to see if they allow different inputs of movement with yourself.
For sure. I mean, like I was playing Tarkov, or like, you know, people, like everyone's playing Halo right now, and you know, sometimes you get on, you want to game for like 2 hours, or, you know, some people game much longer than that, or Twitch streamers. Like, you can't be on Twitch streaming for 10 hours running and ducking and jumping and ducking and dodging.
Dude, you get like, some fit people though, huh?
You would.
I mean, at that point, you might as well just join the Marines or something. You're Navy SEAL. Like, at that point, like, that's ridiculous. That'd be out of control. And I mean, also then, I don't remember in the book for Ready Player One if they mention it, but it also, you know, there are people that can't do that. It's not a possibility. I mean, some people can't, they're not able to even walk. So you have to be able to include them. And there has to be some other way to play, let alone the lowest level of me. Just sometimes after a long day of work, I don't want to run around in my living room with a headset on and like a vest for
jumping up and down.
Hours. Or it's not even jumping. It's like the jumping is one thing, even just crouching sometimes. Like if we're like ducking behind cover and popping up and down, the third time I go, I'd be seeing stars, like all the blood's rushing to my head, you know what I mean? Like,
Knees cracking.
I'm seeing spots in my eyes and stuff like that because I'm low on iron, and it's just like, all right, guys, I need a break.
No, I think obviously they're gonna have inputs, like you can use a keyboard. I'm sure there's gonna be like joystick. There's gonna be like something where you're literally just walking around, just like you don't have to physically be moving, but I'm sure that's gonna be some sort of an option. But
Well, I'll be interested because I know like it's all first steps right now. They're all still like proof of concept, just showing that they can even get the ground going, you know, and they still use the word like metaverse. So like you guys have clays and we're watching that closely. And the big one is going to be that they have legs and you're gonna be able to walk around and interact with other clays. That's cool, like as a first step, and it'll be cool to see that. But like what I want to see is like you just showed the kitchen. Now can I take my clay and we can go and meet up at like a shared spot on Pavia, even one that maybe we don't own. It's just like the Starbucks or whatever that's there. Maybe Starbucks buys a spot and they have sponsored, you know, spots like that, like Decentraland does. And or even, I mean, with how things have gone after, you know, 2020 and everything like that, and some places, you know, are closing back down. We got people not going to the movie theater, so now they have a movie theater or something on Pavia. We can show up.
Cool.
I can show up as my yummy. You guys show up as your clays. We sit in a theater and it's like I just watched the movie on my television, but you know, we're kind of like in the theater or like in a chat together kind of thing.
No, you can't sit with us. You're yummy. We're clay. You can't sit with us.
Nah, yummy's clays.
We wear clays on Thursdays.
I'm just kidding.
There you go. Clay day. No,
Clay day.
Dude, yeah, you just got me thinking about stuff like that, dude. Can you imagine? Like, cause I know I don't know if you guys were remember I was telling you back about the Cardano summit back in like September when there was like a little digital, they built literally a video game world. And there's like an avatar where you could travel through different little portals. It was all like almost like its own little metaverse, like literally. And like everybody online was like this little character and could interact and do things. But they literally had a giant screen and it was just the stream to the actual, you know, summit itself.
So, it makes you think of like Wii Sport characters when I see that
100%. Yeah. So, but you're think about that. Take maybe AMC's leading the revolution. You know, the apes that are fighting Wall Street right now in the stock market. Well, what if they were to buy land inside of Decentraland or Pavia or one of these things right now? And they're going to say, hey, we're hosting movie night. And everybody who's inside of the thing right here, you can pay a tiny little fee admission to watch the movie in your virtual world. Like, can you imagine like stuff like that? I think that is kind of where some of this stuff is going to go. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But,
well, I mean, it works. It's fun for some things, you know, if like sports and, you know, I think of like UFC fights and things like that, especially, you know, we're getting a little older and people are moving away and we got friends in other states and stuff like that. We don't get to visit as much. And a lot of times when like a big UFC fight's on, we're just kind of in a group chat. Like we're all talking, we're all watching at the same time, but so we're interacting with each other and watching it together, but that could take it to another level. Like we could all be in a virtual space together, having fun. We could be wearing our sports jerseys that we root for each other's teams and stuff like that. They could add even more, you know what I mean? It'd just be fun to be in this virtual living space. Halftime, you can be messing around, all that kind of stuff.
Well, dude, you got me thinking too, because we were talking about this right here. Is
that's right.
Pavia Stadium now, like, right? If you look at the map, there's now, you know, a new stadium that's developed down here in like the, you know, like the southwest of the map. So if you look at what they're tweeting, here's the concept of the Pavia Stadium. Well, there was another thing, I know, a tweet in here where they were basically like, could you imagine if EquineNFT was doing horse races inside of Pavia Stadium, and then
like betting?
And you could do you imagine bets on ADA, but Equine was pretty much like Pavia reached back to Equine, was like, look, if you guys are willing to work with us, we can work on getting your assets into here. And then Equine was like, yeah, for sure, that would be dope. So
that's a perfect application. Yeah, it's a perfect space for that.
So that kind of stuff is really interesting to me, and I'm cool. You know, there's already a game being developed for Equine, which I know they just dropped their release date as well, coming up here. So that would be a cool concept for me, for what
I'm very excited for the metaverse for sure. I cannot wait to see where that goes.
So it's definitely interesting. And I was telling my dad, I actually got them, they were like, you know what, I'm really interested in this stuff. So the other day, or I think it was yesterday, I actually bought them their first plot off CNFT.io. You know, like, hey, can we get a spot? So I set them up inside of there, and they have their first digital real estate right now. And then my dad's got, you know, all into it, and he sent me a paper today in the Wall Street Journal. It was like, digital metaverses are on the rise, and why are they selling so much? You know, so he was like, it's pushing into the mainstream a little bit, but I guarantee you next year it's going to be like, this year was the year of the NFT. Next year is going to be the metaverse. It's going to be like this, go hand in hand. So Pavia, you know, I'm really curious because they seem to be the front runner. They have the technology, they have a good team, and obviously they just sold out and have a huge demand right now. So I'm excited to see them. And then apparently, you know, I think their original goal was to get about to 100,000 plots, just like Decentraland. So their 40,000 extra land sale right now is slated sometime, and they're saying in 2022, and they haven't had a release date yet on that.
I can imagine.
I can imagine they're going to definitely do a different drop style, because everybody was very, you know, I know we didn't talk about that too, but the actual drop itself was, like I said, 31,000, but it pretty much broke the pool, and everybody thought, you know, that the bots had taken over that drop itself, and they were pushing people out. And I think Pavia at one point was like, look, you know, anybody, because there was a thing, Tom, what was it? I don't remember. There was some guy who had released his code or something like that, where he can manipulate to get past the threshold. I think from the number of transactions you could actually send out, and he had like shared his like open source work in order to get like a fix to it. And I guess some bots and stuff took advantage of that. So they were sending more than a third. I think you could mint 30 total plots, came out to like 1350 ADA for Pavia. And there were people sending multiple of those, like, but through the same transaction, it just split them into all different ones. So Pavia was able to kind of sort through some stuff and actually not reward the people who did that. So it gave everybody a fighting chance.
I mean, it's a little bit beyond my understanding in this space, because I'm not a coder or a developer, but it was something along the lines where you trick the receiving wallet into, you know, understanding it's getting transactions from multiple wallets, but it's really just sending back, I think, to the original wallet then. And you can just exploit that to essentially get unlimited if you have the ADA for it.
It was like it almost broke up, but I think it was like the same wallet, but it broke it into individual.
It made it look like it was coming from different ones. Yeah.
So that was kind of crazy, but they did a good job, I think, as far as much ADA and as big a sale as it was. I think they did a good job as far as refunding and getting people what they needed to, and also getting everything out, because, you know, I don't know if anybody's noticed on here, but, you know, we'll go ahead and show it there. But I don't know if F35, if you're down in their lake area here, Freedom 35 has got its own little estate hanging out down here. So we're on the map itself as well, and I was able to get into that, luckily, on that estate.
I didn't see that so many estates that opened up near you, and then you're kind of close to the stadium too. You're down there in the south, not too far.
Yeah, we're not bad right now. We're next to the little lake in between the water, and not too far from the stadium. So, but I was one of those fortunate ones. I think you had like a 1/3, like you sent in 405 ADA. Santa just keeps flying by. You sent in 405 ADA for 9 different plots, and you had a 1 in 3 chance, I think it was, to actually get an estate where they're all grouped into one. And that's where you see all these people on the map who have these different pictures. You know, those are what they call the estates. So it's 9 plots that are in a 3x3 grid. But you had a 1 in 3 chance to do that. And I was just sitting there. I'd sent my stuff in and kind of just walked away, because I had to get back down south and to get home with the parents and stuff like that. And I'm sitting there like checking all night and just watching, and I'm like, oh man, there's like 7,000 of these things left, and I still hadn't had anything. So I went to sleep, woke up, and it was Thanksgiving morning, just checked the wallet, just happened to look, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I got my Pavia. Thank God I got Pavia. I was just happy enough to get anything. And then I looked, and all of a sudden they were all in the same little area. And I'm like, oh, okay, that is awesome. I was very fortunate to do that.
So wait, how many did you get exactly then?
There's 9 total plots, so 3x3 right here. So I have 9.
Was it the one price to mint, or you bought 9 different?
I bought 9 once. So I sent 405 ADA in.
Oh, okay. That makes sense now.
You were able to send up to 30. So I could have sent for 30 of them, and I would have had like 3 chances at like the estate at that point, pretty much. Because it would have, you know, 27. If you would have sent 27 plots in, you would have, you know, 3 chances to get that estate. So you're not guaranteed it though either. So if I didn't get the estate and wasn't lucky, I would have gotten like 9 random spots on the map, which may not have been a bad thing, because if you got people over here who are selling next to the stadium, I think today, I don't know, it was like plots -17, -18. I don't know if I can get it on here while we're talking on stream, but this plot was like the record selling plot today that just sold for some. Yeah, see, I don't know if this guy did it, but somehow a plot sold for 50,000 ADA today, like one single plot. Which is insane. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw that today, but
it's cool seeing all the estates though, now that everyone's got them out, like all the representation of some of the projects. Like I see quite a few clays, there's some uglies on there.
There's Angel Baby,
a good amount of
Cardano City,
a lot of Voodoo on there. Voodoo Brigada's on there, which I'm happy to see.
Yeah, I like Voodoo.
Yeah, no, so I'm happy to see that on there.
So it's just kind of cool to be part of this map and just be part of, you know, the beginning stage of this, because I can't imagine in 2017 when people in Decentraland were pretty much like, what did I just get myself into? Is this going to be something like big? Is this going to just waste my money? And now 4 years later, some of these guys selling this stuff for $1 million plus. It's like that's the kind of stuff where you like think about Freedom 35. Like here's an opportunity right here. And there's obviously not financial advice at all. And I know they're obviously, you know, you need to do your own due diligence before purchasing any of these things. But
yeah, you could turn into an Airbnb with that little big plot you got there.
Dude, who knows where these things are. But I'm telling you, man, the floor for these things was rising up to like 300. I think today they dumped back down a little bit to like the mid to, you know, like 260, 270 range. But it's pretty cool to see, you know, with Pavia itself. So I'm excited for them and where they're going to go. And I'll definitely be obviously keeping an update on what happens.
Yeah. Was there like guidelines for uploading the picture? Is there like rules? Because I mean, I know a lot about crypto is the decentralization, you know, not a lot of rules, kind of like the freedom of to do what you want. But I know this is Pavia, like it's their own world. So they may have more, like, could you just post a picture of your nipple? Just like a close up, just your nipple. Or what about the crease? What about the crease between like your thigh and your calf, like under your knee?
You could do that, and they probably
like a zoomed out picture of the butt. Yeah,
I don't know what they would do to you, but I'm sure.
I've never done that picture.
Sure, it'd be frowned upon, regardless of whatever. I'm sure there's like terms and conditions where they could do something. They're like, look, if it's inappropriate content, we have the right to remove.
Free the nipple. Come on.
Free the nipple. I don't know. So anyway, but yeah, so I'm curious to see what happens on this. But in addition to that, as we were recording tonight or getting ready to record, the second highest sale and now technically it just overtook Pavia all in 1 week is none other than Hosky token, our favorite meme coin over here. And I'm working on trying to even find where this is right now. Hosky token, which obviously we've been talking about this for a while now. I don't know if you noticed, but look, we happen to make it inside of a Hosky token's their outer inner circle. I would say it is somehow. I don't know how we did that, honestly. We interact with them, but like, mom, we made it. Like literally, we made a little meme of it. It was just, you know, Hosky Freedom 35. But
now that's a new thing for me for seeing those on Twitter. I just assume that's like, you know, your most engagement over the past recent whatever time period. But that was very cool to see because. I mean, you know, we're just on here messing around, having fun, having a laugh. So to see that, and that's what Hosky's all about. So it definitely is a good match. You know, they're all about the jokes, but I just wasn't expecting to see that with how many people, you know, are on this.
I have no idea, but I mean, obviously Hosky token, we've talked about it multiple times and it's blown up way more beyond, I think, what we even talked about. They're over to 19,500 followers. I think even the first video we talked about, they were at 10,000. So they've more than doubled, or just about doubled since the last video. So it's crazy to me, the amount of growth that they've had. And it's also started to, you know, like people inside the community are starting to, you know, lean one way, another way. It's like, you know, you definitely see that in there where it's like some people are like, I really dislike this. Or there's other people who are like, I love the fact that, you know, they're just trolling everybody and everybody's kind of jumping on board with it. And there's people who are just like, I don't really know I don't want to deal with that. It's just that I don't know.
I don't get it. Yeah.
Yeah. There's this, you fall somewhere inside the line right now, but you know, like we were talking about, they're top tier shit posters. They're great at the meme game, and they make sure to make it clear to everybody we are worth nothing. Literally, this project is worth nothing. There's no value in this. And here today, they went ahead and actually released their cash grab, the CNFT, the cash grab NFT project, which is pretty much, I think I had it right over here, like these literally Hoskies that have these different pieces of artwork.
I haven't seen them. I haven't seen them yet.
Well, these are like the alpha versions. They said these aren't the final ones, so I don't even know. I don't even know if they started minting yet. But tonight they're going to drop. I think I have it right here, the tier list for pretty much. So they were already trolling because one of these costs 6.9 ADA, so they're referencing the 69 joke, right? Yeah, of course, nice. But so I sent 69 ADA in today for 10 of these things. So
great.
I had to. Why not? Like that. Worst case scenario, you know, I guess if you were to sell these things, right? If you're on like CNFT.io, if you were to sell for 8 ADA, I mean, I'm not losing anything.
You could sell it. Yeah. If they sell, you even make 88 on it. If you sell 10, like
the thing is, to me, is nobody knows what the final like mint count of these things are. They just keep referencing in the Discord, like, yeah, there's thousands of them. Don't worry, there's thousands of them. Just, yeah, we're still open, but everybody keeps asking. The bot's just like, don't worry, guys, there's thousands of these. So they're just like, they're trolling the entire time, and people eat that shit up, man. Like no matter what it is, like people love to be in on that joke. And the more that they like just troll and like, guys, we're ready to rug pull. Like I think they were reaching out, which I was Danoverse was another one of the metaverses that disappeared this past week. And I think they even threw like a shade shot at them, like, yo, Danoverse, like, we're just trying to get some pointers on this. How do we get out of here? Kind of thing. Like, it was like, oof, like they don't give a fuck, like, kind of thing. And everybody loves that shit. Like, I think, Tom, you were referencing about the WordPress tonight.
I think, yeah, that was hilarious. Yeah, I just saw that right before we got on.
Like I think, because I was on, I think right when it was getting ready to drop, and I go to reload the webpage, and boom, 502 that gateway error or whatever it is, and everybody in the thing's like rug, and it's like, oh,
we
shit,
told you so.
If that was the time to do it, like, that would have been hilarious too. Or if it, like you were talking about, Tom, like, what if you could deactivate your Twitter for like, I don't know, 20 minutes or something like that, and just wait and make everybody go into a panic, and then just be like, no, guys, just kidding, sorry, or just jump right back into it. But
okay, we're still here.
They dropped their address, I think maybe like 20-30 minutes, a little bit after. They put it inside the Discord and sent it out. So I sent my transactions in, and then it just pretty much broke the blockchain. Like, the load, I don't even know if I'm still looking over here. I took the pool.pm, but it's at 28% load now. But before it was hugging, just consuming all the blockchain space at that point. And dude, it pretty much ruined everybody's chances of
right. It's been like clogging up the blockchain since it started. I mean, since it really took off, since they were sending. How many times the doggy bowl and stuff like that break? Like, it just stopped sending out open transactions. Yeah.
The guy's like, look, probably it's going to be a while before we open again. And most likely it's going to be delayed now, and definitely going to be delayed. Like, even the minting address that's on the pin tree, they literally have it open right now. It's like, remember, there'll be a 24-hour delay. This is in queue mode, like the doggy bowl when it went down. And it's like, yeah, you guys are not going to be getting your NFT anytime soon. So don't expect anything.
Damn.
And I love that about that. I don't know if we put that in, like, I posted a little Cat Williams meme on there. It's like, don't worry, I'll wait.
How does he sound again?
No.
That was pretty close. That wasn't bad.
I want to hear it again.
That's got such a distinct voice.
I'm gonna smoke it and die.
No, that was great. No, what they said at first, the website went down, and they were like, I guess apparently you can't use a trial version of WordPress to run a 60,000 mint on their website. They had so many people, so it just crashed the website. And then they were like, all right, guys, we'll try and get the address back up on Discord. I think they did it. And then I don't know, who knows with them how much of it's just a story, which is also why it's fun. But they're just like, yeah, there it is. Just got off the phone with WordPress. They had to buy the full version. I asked if I could just make I asked if I could just make another email and do another trial. And they said no.
Yeah. I love the fact that they're just like trolling so hard, and then they double down on it too. Like, if something's going wrong, it's like, look, guys, like, dude, we told you. Like, they got the perfect excuse if they want. If something goes wrong, it's like, guys, we told you not to expect anything here. What did you expect? Did you want us to succeed? It's like, if are we doing too good? If we are, let us know so we can stop. Like that. Like, that's literally, like, I've seen tweets go out throughout the week.
We have seen some people too, though, like, buy it and think that they're getting in early on Shiba or Doge, and they're like, I saw this one blowing up. In fact, we saw, I think it was another YouTuber or something like that, only because Hosky tweeted about it. The guy had said he bought some based on someone else's recommendation, this whole thing. And Hosky's like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. This is never going to be worth anything. That's the whole point of this. That's why it's half an ADA.
You guys are getting now. It's gonna 100x. Yeah, I was like, it's gonna 100x zero. Like, okay, yeah, I got you, man. So again, those are people though that just jump in and have no clue. But the fact that those people have started to hear about Hosky already is just like, that's wild to me that they've done the marketing, that whether you like them or not, the marketing that they've done is like top tier. Like, they've grown a project. I think they said in like 24 days. It's like, wonder if like Charles Hodgson will like finally follow us back after our 24-year-old day project. Like, that it was like one of their tweets earlier today too. And it's true. It's like, these guys came out of nowhere and just took over this CNFT space and literally have been able to control like the blockchain like load off of one drop tonight.
He definitely knows who they are. Yeah, just like who is this that is just overloading my blockchain right now?
Well, speaking of that too, because I did see somebody saying that the Cardano, the block sizes are actually getting an update. I think 12.5% larger. So hopefully we'll have a little bit of extra room now to sneak in an extra few mints. for some of our stuff. And
well, that it actually took place today, right? It was already implemented. I thought they already rolled that out.
Was that? It might have gone out today.
That's what I mean. It was that smooth.
Yeah.
They already put it in, and it had no it didn't shut down the whole thing. There was no like real delays. It wasn't like they had to go down for 12 hours and there was nothing that could be done, and then it came back up with this new improvement. Like it just rolled right out, no problems at all. In fact, I think we were just reading before this, they just hit that milestone where they have had now 20 million transactions on Cardano without being down for a single day, where where other cryptos have had to go down and get crashed. We've had those congestion periods, but not like where it's gone down for a period of time for any maintenance or issues or anything like that. That's wild.
Yeah, I think I mean everybody likes to hate, and especially on Cardano, I think this past few weeks it's been like a little bit, it went down. I think it went down to like $1.50 range at one point, and everybody was kind of looking at it like it went like all of crypto at one point. I think this past week, I don't know if it was because there was a Delta variant or whatever it was, something was going on where stock market was down, the crypto market was down, but then you looked at like Cardano and it was like down compared to the rest of that stuff. And everybody, there was some like FUD, I guess, going around with eToro, them delisting Cardano itself. That was causing a little bit of this exchange, the eToro. Like I know, right? Nobody's ever.
I've never used it before.
I don't know anything about it, but that was going around, and then
there's SEC rumblings because you've seen it with XRP, you've seen it with Tron, and people kind of start getting a little panicky and jittery. Like I need to get out now because this is going to get locked down. I'm not going to be able to use it on any exchange.
Well, I think Cardano is the legitimate threat to obviously like Ethereum. They're looking at them because once the transaction fees. I forget, there was another tweet I'd seen the other day where it was like the amount of like transaction fees paid in Ethereum this month versus Cardano. It was just ridiculous. It was like a percentage of what ETH fees were just for the gas. So it's got the scale, it doesn't have the scalability yet, obviously, to reach there. The smart contracts are just getting in place. I think the DEXs are starting to get live. I think Saturday, I want to say maybe. Sunday swap is about ready to launch over there. So we're going to have our first like Cardano DEX. And I think there's going to, as those things start to develop, that's going to put us into a new, limelight inside the crypto world. And it's always the like inside joke to hate on Cardano. Like, what are they doing over there? And you have smart contracts, they're taking forever. And one of these days it's going to be like, yeah, they took all that time, but look how well it works now.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for that. So that's why one of the reasons why I'm big into the Cardano NFTs itself is because you're on a network that is built for sustainability and it's built for efficiency, and it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. And I did see a tweet we were talking about, Tom, too, the question of like, well, it costs 0.18 ADA right now for a transaction fee. And if you did that over on Ethereum side, if it was 0.18 ETH, like that comparability doesn't really matter. Like say ADA goes up to $100 and then you're paying 0.18 ADA on that. You're technically paying $18 for a transaction. So there's actually a thing for the governance, because if you stake your ADA, you can actually vote for different rules for inside of Cardano itself. And I saw something there where it was like, basically once Cardano's price rises to something big like that, we can all set a vote up to say, the actual fixed transaction fee is going to always be just 0.0018, and this is what it's going to be as the price goes up. So that can be modified and adjusted. That doesn't necessarily have to be what it is. A comparable. That's amazing. Back and forth.
Yeah, I've seen that too. We're supposed to scale as Cardano grows. That's how they originally planned it and built it, because they knew that could be a problem. I mean, they just know from the math, just if they're going to be a transaction fee to run it, it's going to be a percentage. As it gets more expensive, that percentage doesn't maybe get bigger, but you're paying more money out of your pocket to do it. So they wanted to make that scale so that it continued to be accessible and not just kill their project because you're spending so much money on just a transaction fee.
Well, I mean, that part of it is what excites me going into next year. It's like especially when Hydra, everybody keeps asking when Hydra. That was the big joke tonight with Hosky too, like when Hydra, so we can actually scale and the blockchain doesn't get annihilated once one of these big mints like goes on, and everybody else can still continue on with what they got going. Because I'm pretty sure the Happy Hoppers, I know TJ, me and you were whitelisted on that, and they were getting ready to do their test mint, I think today. And they pretty much saw what was about to happen with Pavia. They delayed it for a second. And then once Hosky dropped, they were like, no, it's just too crowded right now. We're not even going to bother dealing with that right now.
I can imagine.
We'll wait. Let's put a pin in it.
Yeah. And they're still
like you said, we don't even know. Like my hope was because Pavia hit the 60,000, which was the biggest, you know, or the 31,000 in one drop or whatever, but 60,000 overall. I really wanted to see Hosky just do 60,001, just as like the ultimate, just like one more. But I mean, it sounds like they just went all out and did unlimited, or you know, whatever they end up being. So I'll be very curious how many they actually got minted. I can't imagine trying to compete with that congestion on the blockchain today, though.
I'm pretty sure I saw like they had it over 500,000 ADA in that wallet already, as like before us were jumping into that.
Damn.
Like, could you imagine like the amount of like, I don't know what they did. I'm sure it's something, whatever it is, it's got to be generative, because obviously they didn't create unlimited demand for that stuff. Everybody keeps joking like it's going to be we have thousands of these. Well, you better hope you have hundreds of thousands of these things, because it could get to that point the way that they got it set up right now. So I don't know. It's fun to be a meme. The meme and the joke is there, and I appreciate all the the shit posting and meme posting that they do. It's just it's definitely opened, I think, everybody's eyes as to what how big some of this stuff can get, and they're almost like stress testing it in a non-stressful way. The network, Yeah,
I mean, it's doing some positive things. I mean, part of the block size update, I'm sure, was getting ready for like Sunday swap and things like that coming up very soon. But partially them showing, how much constant traffic can be on the blockchain. I'm sure it had part of an impact on like, we need to get this expanded a little bit and and grow the blockchain some to make room for this, so that it isn't always just congested like for weeks at a time if there's these projects doing this. And I can understand the resistance. I think there's some people that aren't really into it because they do see that they are making some money. They are making half an ADA on every Hosky token transaction or whatever. And then they did just do an actual NFT drop. They're going to make some money on. You are getting an NFT though. And
they did tell you it's a cash grab, dude. Hey,
it could be so much more negative in the space. Yeah, I mean, like compared to like rug pulls and stuff where they promise the world and they're going to be racing trees and all that kind of stuff with these fake projects. So that we have a game, we have a metaverse, we have everything. We're making the PS7, and then they just rug pull the second that they come out. Yeah, but then this one is just like, also it's not, you chose to spend 69 ADA. It wasn't like hey, I've been following this on Twitter because they have 50 million bot followers and I think they're really huge. I don't know anything about this and I really want to buy it now. And then you get rug pulled and it's like, oh shit, I just got screwed over. Like, they're very upfront. It's all about just having fun. So like, if you want to send 6.9 ADA to get one and be a part of it, you can do that. If you want to just observe from the outside and be a part of it, you can do that too and joke around with them. Like, you don't have to spend any money to engage with them. Like, you can still be part of the joke and have just as much fun without spending the money. So it's not necessary. It's not like it's an exclusive club or anything either.
Oh no. And I think it goes back to like what a rug pull is. Like they're very clear about it, and I think I almost trust them more. It's like, hey guys, we are we will rug pull you. Like, they're kind of like almost like just giving you that forewarning. And I saw somebody tweet about it too. It's like, these guys tell me they're not a rug pull, I don't trust them, but they're telling me they're gonna rug pull me. I like these guys. Like, I believe in them. Like, I'm cool. I'm cool with hanging in there. But speaking of some like the actual rug pull like things that you saw a couple happen this week, unfortunately, in the community. I know Tom, what was one of the ones we said? ADA? Was it ADA Pals?
It's ADA Pals, yeah. And I keep getting it confused because they're kind of similar to them, but it's not. ADA Dolls just had, I think, their season 2 drop recently. Or it's coming up. But it's ADA Pals, which was a bigger surprise for a lot of people because, I mean, they were pretty active in the community and not in like the normal traditional rug pull project way. It wasn't like fake bots, fake likes, and people spamming the same copy and pasted message about their drop date coming up, that they've paid for this promotion or anything like that. Like, they were actually like friends with some people in this community that are pretty big and were helping call out other projects. That was the weirdest thing. They were calling out rug pull projects and then they rug pulled, and everyone's like, wow, that's why they were so good at this. That takes one to know one. Like, this is wild.
Yeah, that's such an unfortunate thing too, because like people put.
I kind of liked them. I liked how they looked too. They were cool looking projects.
I didn't really know too much about them, and I know when you asked about it, I was like, that name sounds very familiar, but I wasn't too sure on what exactly it was until I looked it up, and I was like, oh yeah, I've seen these guys before. But the other one too, which we had mentioned on our last episode, was the bike in the metaverse. The one was the Danoverse, and I think I had talked about it was the Age of Empires looking one. And I was like, I don't know where these guys came from. All of a sudden, I just see them shooting up the charts, and I was like, I don't know anything about these guys, but apparently it's a metaverse. And
I didn't realize it was that one. I didn't realize it was that Age of Empire. That's just more disappointing, man. Damn. I liked how those looked. I don't understand. I mean, obviously they're in it for the money, but like, It seemed like they actually had something real going. Like, why not just continue doing that? If
Well,
they're making money and they're getting support, like, I don't get why they would just be like, oh, I'm done with this shit. Like, why not? Even if you are running a scam, why not keep trying to push your scam further? I guess. I mean, that'd be bad for our community. I don't want to see that, but it just doesn't make any sense to me, any of the way they operate. I just don't get it.
I mean, I think it's like a different mindset too, because I think when we were talking to Fettuccine yesterday about that, he's like, everybody in the Cardano community when it was first coming up was very like boosting each other up, and every project was really legit. Like people were proud of the artwork and what they were putting out. And they said it like there seemed like within the last month it like kind of flipped, where it was just like these people would come out of nowhere, make their money, and then get out. And the mindset has left a sour taste in a lot of different people's like in their over here on this side, because it's like, I'm not doing this shit anymore. I just spent all this money and it's gone, which it sucks that happens to people. But it goes back to like you really should be doing research on these guys before just jumping into every single project right now. And
I did see, what was the other one we talked about last week? It's something with apes.
Cardano Apes.
Is it Cardano Apes? That's what it was.
Yep.
Okay, they're. I did see they were reaching out to people and they're doing like some sort of giveaway to kind of help some people out from Danoverse, and I think a couple other projects were as well.
Well, I think our favorite guy over here, which we're big fans of, Wraith CNFT, and he posted a big thing inside of his Discord today. But I don't know if you guys can see this right now. He pretty much reached out today. He goes, by the way, and anyone in my community owns a Danoverse and holds a Wraith, reach out to me via DMs. I see they pulled the rug on their people today, so if I can help soften that blow for anyone in my community, I'd like to do that. Which is super awesome to him, man.
Very cool.
Like, and I know other people inside different communities have been kind of doing the same to kind of like rally around those guys, so big shout out to Wraith as well, who we're big fans of his, to see him doing something like that. But other than that, man, it's just, it's tough out there with, these new projects that come and go every single day, and then all of a sudden they disappear. But something we did want to talk about tonight is these new emerging blue chip projects that are starting to come out. Some new guys that again, tonight I have to go ahead and see exactly, but BlockOwls, Tom. BlockOwls.
Who?
Dude, come on, dude. Piece of shit, dude. Over who? I got you. No, but BlockOwls was something, Tom, you had actually mentioned to us, which is off my radar completely. I had no clue. I was not paying attention to this at all until like the last couple of days. And you're like, hey guys, BlockOwls is releasing, and I looked at it and I was like, what the hell are Block? And then I looked at these glitching
those are sick.
I don't know what. I don't know why they're different themed, all these different things, and they all have
well, it's the full name is, it says it on the box, and I can't quite make it out.
Glitchy. It's like glitchy BlockOwls in chains.
On a chain, because they're they're on their little bird perch, and they are chained to it, and they're also on the blockchain, obviously, and they're shaped like a block, and then they have that, since they're all animated, they have their own. I think each tier has a kind of different glitch effect that goes with it. I know the commons
smash up into the ceiling, and
the commons kind of inflate, like the one I have, and then its eye floats over to the side of its head, and then when it goes back to normal, it kind of all pops back together. But I think, part of the reason why not a lot of us heard about it, I'm pretty sure this one it's just a one-man show. It's if you look on their Discord, and you look on their About Me, it's just, I think his name is Ken. It's just like a
Kent,
Kent, that's what it is. Yep. And he's clearly a talented animator. He's got to have been doing this a while. He's definitely familiar with this stuff. Because awesome. I do some small things. I could maybe make some 2D art, but looking at this, I wouldn't even know where to start on something like this. And you look at the list of programs he uses, it's out of control.
Well,
he's
good.
He's good.
I think it pretty much, he was like, oh, I got locked out of Discord or something the other day, and I had to figure out how to get him back in, or I deleted him or kicked him.
No, he did that to the other day. He was trying to make someone a mod, and he accidentally kicked him out and banned him. He's like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I can do the animation. I don't know this Discord stuff. And I think today he got locked out of his Discord
password or something, right?
Yeah, during the mint. He's like, sorry guys, I've been gone for an hour. I got locked out of Discord.
Yeah, but the artwork itself speaks for it. And then Tom, I think there was 2,654 total of them that were out for mint today. And I know Tom, you got me excited, so of course I had to take a chance at minting, and I was lucky enough to get one. I got the smudge
You got a sick one. I like yours.
He's an uncommon. Nothing.
I like yours a lot though. I like the green, like the glow effect and stuff on it. Because our other buddy got the one, and his is a rare.
Dino.
Yeah, but it's a rare, and I like dinosaurs, but there's not a whole lot of dinosaur trait to it, honestly. And it like the other rares have a lot more like glow or like electricity. Like I like yours, that neon to it a lot more.
Well, I think I don't have to go back and look. I actually think there's actual tail of a dinosaur on the back of his as well. Like like
it
so
does. It has like a fin on its head, like for a dinosaur and stuff like that. But it was a little more plain than I was expecting for that one.
Well, some of these. I was saying to you guys as these. I was watching the the pool.pm as the tokens were minting out, and it reminded me a little bit of like, remember when we were talking about the good Charlotte Clays when they started the mint, you were looking at them and I'm like, dude, that one's sick. Well, that one's sick, and I had no idea about the rarities out there. Just almost every single one was like amazing looking. Well, these started minting, and I started clicking on them. I'm like, dude, that one's sick. That one's sick. I'm like, that's got to be an epic. That's got to be a rare. And I was looking at it, it's like a common. We were like, every single one of these had like a unique design, and I think all of them look amazing.
That's what I thought. The one that Josh got, I was like, man, that one looks really cool. I'm surprised it's not a rare because it looked a little different, but it just like you said, they all look unique and just sick looking.
I was going to ask you, TJ, so you got our buddy to get his first NFT. Oh no, that was the second one now.
Second one, yeah. His first one was yesterday,
but
and then the second one today. Yeah.
For these ones, when you told him about it, did he like kind of look them up first, or is he just like, yeah, I'm going for it because he's still just getting into it, so he's just kind of trying stuff out, or did he? Do you know if he like looked them up first? Was like, these are awesome.
I sent him everything. I don't know if he actually looked at it. He just kind of took my word for it.
No, I assume he did though.
Because I was like, yeah, Tom and Tommy are getting it. I think you should get this one. This looks like it's going to be a nice project's going to stick around. I want to hold on to this one, and he got it. He sent me saying, I don't know if it went through. Did it go through? And I was like, well, we never know. You're on your roll right now,
so got to pray for it, right?
Yeah. He sent me a text.
So I wasn't going to get one at all. Like I wanted one. I thought they were cool, but I'm kind of we got, we said Equine's coming up.
Oh yeah.
And I know we're going to talk about that, but I'm kind of, yeah, the holidays are coming up. I've been traveling a little bit. We're traveling this weekend to Miami. So I'm just kind of trying to save some money and watch the market. And there's some other projects I'd like to buy into that are already existing that I've been trying to like keep my eye on. But then you sent yours, Tommy, and then Josh sent his, and I was like, these are so fucking awesome. I gotta buy one. And I actually ended up the same one as Josh because I didn't realize it at first until I went back and looked at what everyone had, and I was like, oh, I got the same one. I got the Una C, which is like the unicorn looking one. And I was sitting there watching it too. I was very upset, and I was trying to snag one, and all of a sudden the floor probably jumped like 25, 30 in about 20 minutes. They were very, very steady sitting at one point, and I was putting in like, offers and stuff like that and seeing if someone kind of like, work with me on it. And then all of a sudden I even actually went and bought one, and then they just blew up and I got denied. I tried getting one of the unit.
They wrote back LOL.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then the floor went up like 30 and it was like, all right. So I grabbed one, but I am very impressed with them. I like them a lot. And he's got, his is again, one more, I don't know, maybe it kind of reminds me of aoeniumsky.
It does.
Or some of these projects where it's, I really like the art. It doesn't necessarily have like a huge roadmap about,
I don't know if it's like a show or what it is. Like
it's a story. It's going to be like a collaborative story and world that he's going to build with his community. He does have a whole part about how you just played that brief trailer that was playing when you're sharing your screen here. But there's some story about
story driven anime
flying around, and they're picking up the BlockOwls in space. He's got a really, really cool website with a whole bunch of stuff on it about that. So it'll be very interesting to see. There it is, where they're like flying these shipping containers like through space, and they're picking up
each one of the glitchy ones that like reaches out with its like little spaceship thing, and it's like grabbing each one of the different ones off these like almost looks like meteors or asteroids or something like that in space. So I don't know where the story's going, but clearly the dude's a good animator, right? It looks very top tier quality. This stuff he's got to be a graphics designer.
You said he's been doing it. He's been in the industry for 15 plus years,
right?
This is
it looks like a video game trailer.
It does, yeah.
That's what sold me on. I was like, this is not
like a Little Big Planet like
this took serious time and effort to do. This wasn't just thrown together, and it's also long. It's not like a 8-second loop teaser. This is like legitimate animation. Like to outsource that to someone else would have been very expensive to do. This would have been an expensive project. So he clearly did it in-house, and it's or I mean, you know, just based on it, he had to have done this by himself. Like it's amazing.
Yeah, and look at that. He's picking up all the different types of ones right there. So I don't know where this story is going right now, but if I'm definitely interested. And again, it was one of those ones that like snuck up out of nowhere for me. So I'm very happy that we were able to jump in there. And I'm curious again, they feel like something that is one of those projects that's going to be, you know, that I feel comfortable minting into those and what it's going to produce from there.
I like him. Like I said, aoeniumsky, you know, it's not, if you look at his roadmap, he has some things on there about some airdrops and some season 2 releases and things like that for people that want to get in it later on. He has a whole, you know, roadmap for next year, but there's not anything. He's not trying to make a game, or he's not promising a game at all or anything like now. He's not, you know, getting into any of these buzzwords or anything, because he's just an animator. This is just the art that he makes. I don't think he's involved with those sides of things, so he's not gonna make promises about that. He's just making really cool art that I like a lot personally, and you know,
I enjoy it too. It looks good.
Reflecting the community. It's like aoeniumsky, though. It's the same thing. Like I just really like his stuff.
Whatever,
so
regardless
cool.
of the price, like I'm comfortable that I minted into that. Whether that thing goes to zero or not, like I like that piece. Like I'd get like the digital frame of the actual, you know, the aoeniumsky's block, whatever that I own, and I would 100% just rock that thing.
That's why I'm sad if they we need like hologram technology, because I want to buy one of these little boxes and have my like NFT alive.
Can you imagine just being on your your box, just sitting on like your desk, and he's just like glitching around or something like that? That'd be sick. Yeah. See, that'd be dope. Well, I think I'm very excited for BlockOwls, and I think what you just actually mentioned right now reminded me of something that just actually happened this week. I know they don't ever tweet too much on their updates, but was Cardano trees and then Nano frames. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see this with Nano frames. They've actually implemented the Cardano trees into these living frames right here. So you can actually see your Cardano tree move and do its thing. Because you imagine that just being up on your wall throughout there, and all of a sudden at night it dims down to the night. It's raining out or it's snowing.
Relaxing to look at.
Dude, it's so chill. Like, can you imagine? I can just see Altano in the back of his just like house with a million different, his 150 trees just sitting in his room, and he's just chilling, just like doing his thing. It's sick to see that this technology is already starting to come out in such a short amount of time. Because Cardano trees released back in September, so not even 3 months ago, and you're already starting to get this kind of technology happening right now.
Well, and you just mentioned, Tommy, that like nighttime and the seasons, I forgot that for Cardano trees, that it not only moves, it's obviously animated, because that's what I was so blown away by, that it's like the animated NFT in a frame. I forget about that it has seasons and day and night cycles and stuff like that. So I mean, even knowing that like Cardano trees, seeing this technology coming out, if these guys can start working together, or other projects start coming in that they can collaborate with, let's say you could get one of these for your kitchen. You can have it like it displays the temperature and the time, and the tree that you have in it, or the trees they build, react with that. So when it's nighttime, the screen is night. If it's like 20 degrees and snowing outside and it shows the weather, it's snowing in your picture on your tree and stuff like that. Like they can start working together and getting these integrated with each other now that these are coming out, and they'll exist, and they can figure out, hey, what do you guys need us to code in here to make this work on yours, to make them interact with each other and make it even more like within our own world. It's not just on the computer now. Like now it has a real application in real life, and that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm really curious what they're going to be able to do with these kind of things going forward. And you just mentioned like the time and I think the add-ons too, because a lot of Cardano trees are going to be coming out with their different add-ons here. For me, I don't understand why Cardano trees people sleep on these all the time. And there's going to be a day where everybody kind of see what these are some of the add-on features that they're looking to put into there. But there's going to be a day when Cardano trees, everybody just gets it finally, and just like, oh wow, like that's what these things are. Okay, I need to get me one of these things. So I'm excited for Cardano trees. I've always been a big fan. I know we were talking to Fettuccine even last night, and he was like, I have like 100 of these things. I minted a bunch of them on mint day. So I'm waiting for the day that they take off, because they deserve their spot in the limelight as well.
No, it's on a lot of people's top of the list of like most underrated projects. Every time someone 100%. Says what's your most underrated project on Cardano, of course everyone tries to spam their project, but it is one that you see repeatedly on there. And yeah, I remember him saying something along those lines where he's like, yeah, I could have sold some of these, but I'm not willing to because I think they're so undervalued. I'm not willing to sell them at the price that they're going for.
Yeah,
just for how much they have in them compared to some of the other projects.
Nobody wants to get rid of their trees. Like I'm sitting there holding on to mine as well. You know, so I'm waiting for the day that I can get these add-ons. And apparently Altano is supposed to speak. I don't know what that means this month, but it's on their roadmap for December for them.
And then they also have something like a Christmas theme. I don't know if they've actually announced details on it. Were they going to do something for the holidays or something?
I don't know if they're going to do any official, like, I don't know if it's going to be lights or whatever it may be, but I know their add-on features, their big thing that they're putting on. Like here, you can see like the fireworks and things. So
okay,
again, can you imagine like New Year's happens and all of a sudden the back of your trees it just starts going like the fireworks?
Exactly.
And things.
Yeah, that'd be great.
They got some cool stuff that they're putting in there. And again, I know we talked about the Altano racing thing. So they're obviously, I think you don't hear from them a lot right now. It's not like the big marketing push, but behind the scenes with the technology and the things that they're working on developing, they're like top tier when it comes to quality. And I'm all in on Cardano trees and sitting on those for a while because I know the value of those. And eventually next year they're going to be doing the bonsai tree release, which is going to be a 1-to-1. So whatever you have, however many Cardano trees you have, you're going to be able to mint the same amount of bonsai trees. So that'll be kind of cool as that technology develops.
I never like to make the claim like that they were the first to do it, like the animated NFT on Cardano, because I don't know. They were just the first one I saw. I had never seen like that kind of living animation on an NFT, especially on a Cardano NFT. I was early then when I first saw it. So there could have been other projects that done it, but they just did a lot of cool things with it. And the trees are different. I like that their trees are not, it's something different as far as the actual NFT art goes. And then you can get the weather and there's so many different types of trees and the seasons and stuff. It's very cool.
Yeah.
I like to go to sleep with rain sounds on. So if I could get a Cardano tree with the ones that like is raining and it plays like rain music, that'd be perfect. Yeah, dim it a little bit, like it's nighttime one, you know, maybe some rain and cricket like sounds.
Lofi beats, like chill music in the background. Yeah, release some digital. That'd be fun. So yeah, man, Cardano trees. I just wanted to bring that up as we were talking about cool displays and just the artwork itself appreciating. Like again, I can appreciate that artwork, no problem. But the fact that they're pushing the space in a different way that most people aren't even thinking about. You know, they're literally working on building digital add-ons to enhance your actual NFT itself. So I think that's pretty cool. Pushing into some other blue chip type of new projects or new technology, I guess, that we wanted to talk about. I know for me was Dead Pixels. I know we were talking about that earlier in the week. And I know you guys, I was in season 1 and season 2 release of Dead Pixels stuff. And they're officially, you know, they're making a PvP game called Pixel Wars, I think is what it's called. Sick. And they're doing the 10,000 Dead Pixels have been sold, and they're going to be called Genesis tokens. And from those Genesis tokens, you're going to be, that's why you see the floor kind of shot up from the low. It was like in a 70-ish range, I think, after everything was done. And then now it's jumped up to like the 700, 800 range now for the floor for them. And that is because of the white paper that they went ahead and released, is that whoever owns these Genesis tokens are going to go ahead and get royalties based on the attributes that they have. So I think AF, he did the first YouTube video in the alpha demo of Dead Pixels. And he's got the game here where you select the dead base, which most of them have the dead base on there. And then you can actually pick your actual attributes that you want on there. So say one of my guys has a chain. Well, on that chain now, I don't know, and I have a Santa hat as well. So he's got the Santa hat and all these different things and picks whatever he wants. They give him different stat boosts and things like that for the actual game. And whenever they're ready to go play, there's different, I guess, costs for these different a little to add a Santa hat, a certain amount of ADA. So throughout each epic or whatever it is, or whatever the sales or total sales of that stuff is, you're going to get a percentage. If you own that trait, you're going to get a percentage of that stuff paid back to you as royalties.
I forgot that you were playing their video. I thought you were doing all this for a second.
Yeah, right.
I forgot this was a video that came out and you just were playing it for us. And I was watching you. They're manipulating. It's the Forge where you can, like you said, like essentially build your avatar, build your character. And it's kind of cool too, because it looks like the
Kenny hat.
Well, oh, I like that Kenny a lot, but
Yeah,
it
that's
looks like
cool.
wow, those ones are really good, all those. But it looks like the 3D one you just had commissioned too, like
Oh,
that
from
one
Fauna.
exactly. It kind of reminds me of that, but for a second there, I was like I was gonna start asking you to click back through some of these, and I'm like, we're watching a video, you're not manipulating this.
This is just their YouTube. They're literally showing you the build on. So these are like the rare ones, like the vampires and then the reptiles and all the different bases. So if you own these right here, like obviously they're worth more money. And people who own these, obviously the value's higher for them too, because they're going to get paid more inside this game. But pretty much you can build whatever you want for this stuff, like the vampires, and they can build all these different traits out. And I don't know how it's going to work inside the game. I haven't gotten too much info on the game itself, but this is like the project progress that they're making inside of their marketplace. I mean, just this in general looks sick. Like, I mean, that one, I don't know how the game itself is going to look, but I'm happy with the progress that they made in such a short amount of time as well.
Baby steps.
So I wanted to say, and yeah, you did mention, like, I think Fauna was the guy who does the 3D artwork. He did my 3D Santa that I have for mine as well. I'm pretty sure I just saw an announcement over this past week that he got picked up to get onto the team for DeadPXLZ.
Awesome. I can 100% understand that. If that's what happened, that makes sense, because I mean, he does great work. So
yeah, so that's just a shout out to how early we are in the space too. This guy who just took off, doing commissions and stuff for a project that he really liked. All of a sudden, the team looked at him and was like, "Yo, I need a guy like that on my team. He's really good at what he does." Boom, they picked him up, and now here he is working on something like this, which is crazy.
Well, it's cool that artists like that get involved. Like if you're, pretty good at Photoshop and Blender and a couple of these programs to do these animations or just edits in general, you may not have the time or just understanding of, like, I couldn't do my own project. I don't know how to do full art maybe, but I do enjoy messing around and being creative in these spaces, and the communities are already fun as is with a lot of these NFTs. So I just started a lot of times I think they start messing around with their own. I think they buy their own and just kind of like they know how to do some of this stuff. That's how I started, that's all I've ever done is just take a couple of our yummies and, animate them just because it's fun to do. And it's fun to do that creative stuff. And then I think they post them and people are like, hey, can you do one of those for me? And then they end up probably just getting so many requests that they're like, all right, guys, I need to like somehow like ask for 5.8 or something to like slow this down. Cause I know Anime Bits, I think it was like posting where he's like, it'd be, November 5th. And he's like, all right, guys, I'm finally caught up to my DMs from October 29th, like 6 days ago. And I'm still like, I have 6 more days to go through because there's so many of them.
I'm still waiting for the day that you can make us our NFTs and talk with that on our podcast. That'd be cool.
That's what I want. Yeah.
Oh yeah, can you imagine like my
style,
DeadPXL just doing what it is? I know I'm a big DeadPXLZ fan, and I just wanted to mention them out there because I saw this video come through, and I'm like, man, this is too cool not to talk about, because I'm excited to see where they go into next year and the actual game to launch, and just in general, like this is the first one that we always talk about royalties and different things. Well, I'm curious to see how that's going to shape up for this game and for the holders, because if that truly is what it's kind of claiming to be, you're going to see the value. I'm assuming you're going to see the value for these things shoot up way higher. And again, not financial advice to jump into any of this stuff, do your research. But I mean, from what I'm seeing, like I'm excited being a holder of a DeadPXLZ myself. And
well,
then
I'll be curious, like the model they choose. Like, is it going to be, because I mean, DeadPXLZ is a big project. They've been around for a while. It's not the cheapest one to get into. So if I wanted to play the game, will they have some sort of like free to play model, like almost like Rocket League comes to mind or something like that, or like I guess Fortnite, or just these games that are the new Call of Duty, the new Halo. These games are now free to actually play. But then within the game, if you want to have more cosmetics for your character or update things or upgrades and things like that, you can pay, and that it works both ways, because I didn't spend X amount of dollars on the game and I'm getting my time and enjoyment out of it. So I'm willing to invest some money back into it on some cool things for my character, because I'm playing enough. I want to see some new things and support the project then at that point. Or am I going to need to spend whatever the DeadPXL floor is at that time to even get access to the game at all? I'll be really curious to see how they start developing that stuff.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in that as well. I don't know how, what their plans are, I guess.
Yeah, just early stages so far. I mean, yeah, that's so early.
It's definitely interesting to me. I can tell you that. Like that's one of the ones where I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm excited to be part of this project, and it's one of the ones I don't want to let go either right now. Like I can sell it for a decent amount, but it's like I don't want to do that, because I feel like there's a way more value in the actual project itself than worth whatever the floor price is of this stuff right now.
You had one. I mean, I don't want to step on your toes here. I don't know if you were going to mention it. I don't, don't necessarily have to share the screen, but the VeggieMates, I just want to mention because I like them. I didn't get a chance to grab one on Mint. I like what they did, that they had, especially those profile picture projects. A lot of times, just have the different attributes or something like that, but they had the different base models because it was different vegetables. I really like that they did that. So it wasn't just that the same model with just a different hat, a different shirt or something like that, which isn't a problem, but it was just something new. And that's what I liked about them specifically, was that they had so many different vegetables too to choose from. That's kind of what reminded me about the owls, where they had similar, even less with the owls actually, because they kind of had similar base models, but they were just very different among them. But this one where you have, you know what I mean? I hate broccoli, so I wouldn't buy a broccoli one.
Yeah,
but, shredded though. Look at him.
Dude, he's ripped, right? So VeggieMates is another one of those ones. I actually saw them. I think big PTs. It was Paul Thomas, I think, from I saw him from like Good Charlotte being promoted. And Joel Madden is promoting this project a little bit too. Not part of it, but he's promoting it. But I love the artwork. When I actually went in there and I minted one late night on there. I kind of was like, oh shoot, these things are starting to like really sell pretty quick initially when they were out there. And I was like, I jumped in, grabbed one, and I'm pretty sure my guy, let me look at him. He's got the body, the tickler over here, which I just thought was funny.
Weird.
Yeah, it's like a tickler over here. And I was like, what the heck is this thing? And I looked, I got a watermelon with a third eye, and then but I got the Anubis hat, the Anubis head on that, which apparently is one of the rarest heads out there. I think my guys they finally did the rankings. Originally they didn't have a ranking system on it, and then eventually they did release rankings for it. I think my guys number like 313 out of 10,000.
So watermelons aren't vegetables.
Hey, well,
I want the potato because I'm a potato fan all the way. There's so much to do with potatoes. I mean,
they have
baked potato, fried potato, shredded potato, smashed potatoes.
Well, they have the bananas, all these different things, like I don't know if it's radish, onion, whatever that is, but there's all these different things. But their concept is that they have there's no more humans, no more animals, just vegetables and junk food. And the vegetables need junk food to survive, and junk food need vegetables to survive. And there's basically a fight between the two. So their first mint was the 10K of the vegetables, and they're doing a second mint of like the junk food, of like the pizza and all these different things. So there's gonna be so there's gonna be a battle of these two guys. Or factions, whatever you want to call them,
I see that
junkies and the VeggieMates
3021. That's wild.
Okay. So they got some cool artwork too. Like you said, I was going back to like the body types and the different attributes. So it wasn't just like my guy had like the tickler body, but he had like the watermelon head. I don't know why I got like the creepy little dude on there, but there's some cool ones. They have like the laser eyes and all these different things. So they found that they sold out recently too. And on top of that sellout, they have actually a pretty cool Discord community. They're very very active in what they do. I have to go back and I'm looking for them here.
Is that the Marty McFly orange vest?
Yeah, sorry. So check this out. Yeah, look.
Where?
In the picture, that's the flashing on the back.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, isn't that it? I'm pretty sure that's Marty.
Why is it wearing a life preserver?
Yeah, exactly. Yes, that's that exactly. Or it looks exactly like it.
So their Discord is actually pretty fun too. Like they have like this one to me is hilarious, man. They have only veggies, like not safe for work, and it's just like all these like veggie memes where it's just like like inappropriate stuff, but it's like all different stuff. It's weird different things. But so they have like a fun part of their Discord for that. They have like they're big about like health and wellness, like like financial wellness, mental health, like game, like they're very a very inclusive community. So I think that's why you see them doing pretty well. And I think I saw an interview not too long ago with this guy Beastivs, or this insider there for them. I'd love to talk to the VeggieMates too and just get a little bit of background on their team, because their artwork is dope. I like what they have going on. They take something that maybe doesn't seem like the most interesting type of topic of like vegetables and somehow made them cool looking. And then I'm really curious to see what the actual the junk food, that's a cool concept for what they're doing over there. And it seems like they got a pretty good team that's backing them up as well.
Well, I honestly, I mean, I liked the I like the art just as it was. That's all I'd seen just from what you had shown and our friends had shown in the showroom. I have never been on their website. I didn't even know it had this post-apocalyptic spin on it, which me personally, I'm like a big fan of that genre already. Like a lot of games and movies and books that I read are within that. That just has me that much more interested. I might really need to snag one of these before the junk food and stuff takes off. I really like that a lot. That's very cool.
You're gonna get the broccoli though, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna get the broccoli. Yeah. I want the potato.
I know you want the potato.
I want the potato.
You want the hot potato.
I don't want a fruit. I don't know. Yeah, I want a VeggieMate. I want to tell some Veggie Tales.
Like that's a dope one. You get the onion with like the laser eyes and the dragon breath. Like you get the fuck you ones that they're on there. So they have some cool, like, I don't know. I like the community that they have over there, and that'd be a fun one, for a sit down and to actually talk to those guys.
That'd be really cool, yeah.
So I just want to shout VeggieMates out because I can say congrats on their sellout. I'm happy to be a part of those as well. And that's another one where you see like these blue chip projects starting to kind of come out of nowhere, or starting to establish themselves. They've released and now finally have sold out, and they got a good community building up behind them. And so their future release, like you said, the junkies that may come out, we're going to be sitting there like, I'm rushing because I got to get one of those, because VeggieMates are just one of those top tier projects that are coming out.
I was gonna say, because I guess only really, like Clay, obviously Space Buds. I guess it depend on who you ask, what an actual blue chip so far is in CNFT, because these are kind of like the potentials. You can see they have making with the community. The art was solid. They didn't, which we haven't really seen in a while. They didn't release their art, have their mint, and then everyone started posting nonstop about all the stock images. We haven't seen that in a bit now, which has been nice. For the Cardano side, because that was kind of you had that like week and a half or 2 weeks or so, or there's a lot of stock art coming out. So you haven't seen any of that happen. There hasn't been any red flags. Or continuing through with it. So this does definitely have some of these the potential to continue to grow as long as the Cardano space stays strong. And I mean, we're all in on it. So.
Another one which I wanted to briefly mention on here while we were sitting here was another one that came out of nowhere this past week, where I was looking on CNFT, OpenCNFT.io, was Ghostchain. And Ghostchain, to me, I saw them and I wasn't, the artwork is just, like that almost pixelated effect, like video game kind of like art. And I didn't really do any research on them. And all of a sudden I just saw them surge up inside of sales, and their floor price was up to like 168 at one point. I'm like, what is going on with these things? There's 10,000 of them. Like, again, the artwork, it's not bad, but it's not anything like super amazing to me, where I'm just like, oh my God, like, why are these things like selling? I was like, there has to be some sort of utility. There has to be something behind these things. It can't just be like, these people are going wild for these things. And come to find out, like, there's way more to this Ghostchain itself with that. I'm still now just starting to get research in, and I don't own one yet, but it's making me want to like start to get involved, because I guess their reference to the Ghostchain is like the fun joke about Cardano, like Cardano's a ghost chain. There's nothing going on over there. And that was what the artwork was inspired by for them. And then further research for me was doing is they actually have a white paper out, and I guess they're going to actually be physically paying out, like, I guess, whatever the proceeds are for this stuff, they're going to be paying out, money, or I guess like dividends ish type thing, or, something along those lines, where you're going to be getting paid for being a holder, which is kind of cool. So I think that's part of that, where like, hey, like, how DEADPXLZ, they're over there, promising you some sort of royalties. They're doing kind of the same thing over here, where it's like you're part of the community, so you're going to get part of the profits for holding on to these guys. And then on top of that, they also have this thing, the freeroam.io as well. And this is working to be, I guess, a marketplace that is like the all-in-one. It's trying to unite all marketplaces into one spot. So this is a separate thing for them as well. And I think I think I mentioned that, like, if you own a Ghostchain CNFT, you get 0.01% of net profit from freeroam.io marketplace. So it gives
I didn't know it was a whole market. I thought it was just, within their own community. Like for Ghostchains, if you have a Ghostchain and then they do another drop, you get a percentage. I didn't realize it was going to be the entire. And we're excited to see that with the smart contracts seem like they're right around the corner for like wide adoption. I know there's a couple markets that have come out that have had it. I know we had like the scare where there was some exploits possibly within it. Is there a Pikachu ghost chain? I'm sorry, I distracted myself.
That's where
there.
I'm starting. It's like a little rope.
That's a
There's like
Bender. That's Bender for, and that's
Buzz Lightyear. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So I didn't realize, like, I haven't done enough research into this. I just wanted to shoot them out because they're now all of a sudden, when you talk about these emerging blue chips that are out there, this, if they're actually out here developing something that's worth, a big aspiration to build a new marketplace and unite everybody in one spot. On top of that, you're paying your holders out there in some sort of way. I mean, that makes sense to me as why they're starting to grow as big as they are. So
that's not just investing in the art then, right? Because you're almost like buying a share of the website. Yeah, you're like a part owner of the site.
So that's cool to me as well. So I think that I just wanted to mention them as, and when we talk about these emerging blue chips, so you got some new players that are starting to come into the field that, we may be talking besides just the Yummies and the Clays and the DEADPXLZ, the Unsigs, obviously Space Buds, those kind of guys. You may start looking at some of these new names. So they were just one more of the ones that I wanted to go ahead and
honestly, I'm just really glad that, we're seeing these 10,000 projects sell out like this again. I think maybe 2 episodes ago we were discussing, is the marketplace getting a little oversaturated? I don't know if it's necessarily oversaturated relative to how many drops are coming out right now, how many drops are coming out before that. I think there's a ton of drops come out every day that we don't even notice come out. So it's kind of, I just think people had gotten a little jaded. There had been a lot of stock photo projects and rug pulls or projects that had just were obvious low effort, but still had this Twitter hype or Discord hype that were getting people to buy in and just didn't really develop or perform like they promised. And it got people a little off and we're kind of just watching the market. So those weren't really selling as big as they were. And now we got some more quality projects coming back in. They don't sell as fast always, but like Pavia did sell really fast, but some of the actual NFT like art ones, but at least just seeing them sell out again, it's cool. Seeing the Ghostchain one do it, seeing they were smaller drops, but like BlockOwls sold out. The one you got, TJ, I'm slipping on the name now. The one you enjoyed.
Apocalypse.
Apocalypse. That one. It was a 4,000 drop, I think.
Yep.
But just seeing these still sell out, where I feel like a couple of weeks ago we were seeing so many that just kind of sit there and hang and just not do anything. It's been nice to see that again and kind of get things revamped. I think also we're getting a bit of a fire sale on the price of ADA right now. Yeah, exactly. So people are kind of like, oh, I can get, these projects are dropping at that normal average mint price that we're used to, 40, 45 or whatever, but you're getting the ADA, 50 cents cheaper or 40 cents cheaper than some people were buying it before. Was that, some people were buying it at 220 at one point. So you're getting like a 60, 70 cent discount right now to get some of these. It's not too bad to actually get in.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like, I wish I had more money to invest right now. It's like tough. It's right near the holidays, and I think we were just talking about that. This past week is EquineNFT. They just went ahead and announced finally their new drop. It's going to be on December 18th, and it's going to be a 24-hour minting period. They're doing something a little different to kind of combat the the flippers and the people just abusing the bot system and all that. They're launching the 18th for 24 hours. It's an unlimited supply during that time, and 250 ADA is going to be the cost. So it's going to be a bundle, but you're going to get the horse, you're going to get the racer, the jockey, all that stuff. 3 things in one. So that's kind of cool.
Skin. It's a jockey, a skin. And I think so the jockeys that were talking about it, I don't think they're going to be have the same rarity as like the horses. The horses are going to be, the main part of the project.
Yeah, there's only like 60 of them or something.
Yeah, there's not as many jockeys, but they do have different like skills and attributes, and that's definitely going to develop more. I think when they get the game and stuff rolled out, where they're going to have jockeys that do a little bit more as far as like their speed or skill. I'm not sure how deep that's going to go, but I'm excited to see that. I was discussing this with our other buddy. We had like an interesting discussion on it because he was concerned that they're doing the 24-hour open mint, that it was going to like oversaturate their own market, like that they could almost, kill their own project, because everyone that wants to get one is going to get one. And then when the mint ends, who's going to be left to maybe buy it on the secondary? Because if anyone wanted one, they would have bought one during the 24 hours. It was unlimited. Right. But after seeing Pavia, which has 60,000, and they sold out fast. They weren't like the 24-hour unlimited, but the point I think I made with when I was discussing this with them, and we kind of landed on, was that if the project shows that it has this extra utility like Pavia has and Equine, where the point isn't for it to be art flip right up. Yeah, that's not the point of it. The point is you're supposed to buy it because you want to be involved with the next stage. This is just the very beginning step, so you can actually get to the real part of it, which is where the good stuff happens. Like, it's not meant to be this is an exclusive, only 200 are made kind of thing, and then you can sell it for a shit ton of money right 10 minutes after you bought it. It's meant to be, and if you're lucky enough to get one, they want everyone that wants one to get one so that you can be involved in it. That's the whole point, which I like. So I think that's gonna, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how it goes. I'm curious because 250 is also, you know, it's a good price. I think that's a good value too for what they're at least promising. We'll see, you know, how it actually develops.
Yeah, look in the couch for some quarters.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you think about like
some of my neighbors' couches too. I mean,
I saw so many like people hating on that in the first half of that day when it first got released too, because it was like, oh, 250, you know, that's not,
Yeah,
you
it
know,
makes sense of what you're getting.
Open mint. Like, it was, you think about it, like with Fettuccine explained that yesterday. It's like, you know, when you buy an angel baby, you're not just getting an angel baby, you're getting 14 other drops with it. So if you divide the math out with that, you're really getting something for 15, 16 ADA. I mean, I don't think that's a bad deal at all. Same thing for Equine. You divide those by 3. I mean, you're really, you know, it's not as big of a, or as crazy as what it sounds initially on that. But if you even take that into consideration of what ETH mints are on that, it's still only a fraction of those costs over there compared to what it is over here on Cardano still. And on top of that, like you said, it shakes out kind of the flippers out there because there's no incentive for them to go mint a bunch of them and then go try to sell them if they, you know, because people, like you said, are going to buy them, they're going to buy them. And then eventually as the game drags on and time goes on, they're going to be able to use that stuff. And then that's, I think, when more of the value is going to get kicked in. So it kind of shakes out the flippers. It doesn't allow everybody just to come jump in there because 250 ADA is a little bit of an investment. I'm not just running in there with 1,000 ADA to get 4. Like that's, you know, that now you're talking bigger money right there. And on top of that, it's more fun to, you know, a real community. You get the actual people who want to be in the project involved with it. You know, it's not just like, hey, random people come in just to list it at the floor price.
Yeah, I can understand some of the disappointment, like people that are really excited and, you know, you just can't afford it. Not, you know, it's not always a reasonable thing to buy.
Yeah, it's Christmas time too.
Yeah,
it's tough.
That kind of stuff. So I can definitely understand the disappointment if you want to be involved. I can also understand their point of view, like how much work they seem to be putting into this. You know, we're not going to undervalue the project and how much we're doing, and then how much we think the further development of it will bring more value. So I can understand both sides of it there, but I do agree with you on that, where it is cool that it'll be like, not everyone's just going to throw, like, I have 45 ADA, I'm going to throw some in. Oh, I don't like this, I'm going to resell it now for 8 ADA or whatever. Like, if you're buying into this, it's because you really want to be involved.
Oh yeah, it'll definitely shake, like I said, the right, you know, I think it's a unique way to look at it, but I'm kind of curious to see how they do. I know they said they need to excel at least 5,000 of them. So, you know, as long as they do that, then they're fine. If they sell 10,000 or more, then they'll adjust some of the, you know, the way that stuff gets distributed. So I'm interested, and I'm sure we'll be talking about that a little bit as it gets closer out here. But, you know, on the back end of this, there's a couple, you know, we always talk about upcoming drops and things that we are looking forward to. I know aoeniumsky was supposed to drop last week, and after the Pavia launch, they were just like, yo, we're not even going to deal with this right now. Bots, you know, our old method of just pasting in the address in Discord and everybody run in to get it was gone. So they decided to go ahead and push the drop to next Tuesday, 12/7 back the same time, 2200 UTC, and the drop method still hasn't fully been detailed yet. So I'll be curious to see what they end up doing for that. That's definitely one on my radar, because obviously the block 9 drop for aoeniumsky is something, you know, everybody's looking forward to right now. And then one other one, which I know we're big fans of, is the Grumpy Bunny. They're doing their Grumpy gift. I know season 1 and 2 holders are about to get an airdrop for the Grumpy Elf coming up this
Another
week.
one? Oh man, they just shower you guys with treats, and I'm over here.
It's all like
I'm grumpy. I'm getting upset.
Yeah, the Grumpy Bunny is so fun to me, man. I love the stuff they're doing, like a gift wrapping, the most shittiest gift wrap thing going on right now. Like how awful you can wrap your gifts, and people are like duct taping bananas or like taping bananas, and like somebody like wrapped themselves up, and it's funny to see what, you know, the Discord engagement for that and Twitter stuff that they're doing. But I guess everybody who wants to be able to get in the Grumpy gift, you have to get one of these, and they launch on this Sunday at 1 p.m. And that stuff is going to go ahead and cost you 30 ADA, and anybody can go ahead and actually get in there for you. So,
oh man, I'm all about that one. I need to get. I need a bunny in my wallet. I'm excited.
Yeah,
it's been too long.
Right. So I'm excited for those on the back end, and then you know, for the rest of the stuff, Tom, I don't know if you're looking at anything else.
I mean, pretty much we've named them all as far as the ones, you know, again, because the equine's the one I'm myself, we've been talking about since we started the show. So, you know, before they had any idea when the launch would be, I think they just said December originally, and it's only episode 7. So it's only been 7 weeks, but 8 weeks, but I am very excited about that one. And once that min price came out, it was kind of hard for me to look into a lot of other projects just because I don't want to get overexcited and realize I can't maybe overstretch myself right now at the holidays, traveling. So that one will be interesting to see. Equine, Grumpy Bunny, now knowing that it is coming out. I mean, theirs are always very reasonably priced too, like 30 ADA.
There's nothing,
yeah, you know, maybe I'll see if I can move something around in my wallet too, and maybe sell something. I have some, you know, one or two or three extra of.
You got to get a grumpy gift to get in for the 12 days of grumpiness. So I'll definitely probably, because we'll be coming back up from Art Basel at that time. So I'm going to be coming down that morning, and I'll definitely have to send that in, because 1 p.m. UTC for us is what, like 8 a.m.
Oh no, I'll be good for that then. Yeah.
No so we should be fine. But yeah, I don't know if TJ, is there any other drops that you're looking for? I know the only other one that I think coming up next week is the very important dummies. I know we had talked about them. Their season 3 drop next Thursday.
Yeah, and then the other one was there's no date for it yet, but the Wookie Art Diarrhea one, that one looked pretty cool.
Oh yeah, we'll have to talk about Wookie Art Diarrhea a little bit more on that. I love that name. I think we should. I think we do.
To say.
Yeah, right. We'll do like a little showcase on what they actually are doing, because I think that artwork is super dope. I think I have them sitting around here somewhere. Just wanted to give a quick little shout out to them, because I know they're it's like this 3D like generative art, but he's got like these really cool like designs that he does for his stuff. And it's pretty much, from what I understand, is the whole community is like, look at the amount of likes on here, 265 likes for this one right here. And everybody's waiting. They're like, dude, when are you minting this stuff? When are you minting this stuff? And the guy's like, well, I'm doing up to 100 of them first, and then I'm gonna go ahead and work on getting the thing. And everybody in the community, even Joel Madden's like, yo, just let us know when you're ready to drop these things. Like he, in honor of Spider-Man coming here, he did the Spider-Man sitting there. And
are they generated? I thought he handmade them. That's why he's only got like 100 so far.
Is it handmade? I don't know. I
thought he was making them each, like, I mean, you know what I mean, like in Blender or one of the programs, but I thought he was making them each like one at a time, essentially. Maybe I don't understand. TJ,
it could be, yeah.
How did we not recognize that name? How did I not remember that name? Because it's very hard to remember now. Like, I'll never forget it again. Tommy, you were like, "Oh, did you guys ever hear about this?" And we both said no. And then both looked and were like, "Oh no, I'm following."
No, I've definitely seen this dude. Yeah.
Well, we were both following him already.
Honestly, I think I overlooked the name. I was just looking at the art. I think that's what happened. I didn't look at really the name, and I just was looking at the art. But now
maybe he didn't have diarrhea in it before.
No, I'm pretty sure it was Wookie Art. I'm pretty sure it was Wookie Art Diarrhea. But I mean, dude, yeah, you're right. I'm pretty sure. Like, I always want to say generative, because you see like some of these, maybe it has a little bit of that like reminding on that. But now the more that I'm looking at it, there's no way that shit was generated, man. This guy definitely is creating this stuff by hand.
Is so detailed, so different though. Each one is so different from each other too. There's no like base model.
Yeah, this is the one that I first saw. Yeah, rendered in Blender. So made with VR coil, rendered in Blender.
Yeah. So he's making them all, like, these are all the models that he's making himself, like, you know, and building by scratch in Blender, it sounds like, which is why there's only such a limited amount already, because he has to go through and do it himself. It makes sense.
Dude. I'm obviously, I was sitting there, I commented on the most recent one, but I was like, dude, I'm just waiting patiently, sitting here, just like, when was the day this is going to drop? See, I can tell you that there's going to be a big demand, you know, when he finally does get around to doing this stuff. And yeah, I know he's debating between dropping again on Artano or making it on CNFT. And I don't know too much about Artano, but so for me, I guess, he's actually got it in like a VR, like Oculus as well. Like, that's insane. Like what he's got going on for this. That's actually really cool looking. Look at that.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
I'm definitely interested, and I know the rest of the CNFT community sitting here just quietly looking at them like, all right, man, when's
probably
this
gonna
coming
be an instant sellout for sure.
I'm gonna keep an eye on that one. Yeah, for sure.
That's one of the ones where it's like, I don't give a shit what the price is on this, or if it goes down, whatever you want to do on this. That artwork right there is dope. And that was one of the ones where it's like, I don't care what it is. I'm happy to be a part or even be lucky enough to get something like that. So just wanted to give them a quick shout out to. I'm hoping as we get closer to I don't know what number he's on right now, but I know they're getting a little bit closer. He goes, I plan to drop them when I made my 100th piece, currently at 90. It will be either in CNFT or Artano, but definitely Ada blockchain. Super blown away by the support.
That's great to hear then. Awesome. I'll be definitely watching them. That's great.
So Wookie Art Diarrhea. I don't think you can forget that name, man. Like, I know we've been talking for a while, but I love it. Yeah. Big fan of his stuff. So shout out to him whenever that does happen. But yeah, wrapping up onto the back end of this, guys, I know we're excited this weekend to be down in Miami, get to meet some people and just see some actual artworks outside the scope of normal things that I would be doing. So, but being in this NFT space over the past few months has kind of opened my eyes to that. Tom, I know you're same for you. This isn't something I was normally be doing on a weekend. It'll
be cool to reconnect with Jason and Fettuccine in person, and I know there's a couple other names that are going to be down there. I know Cinnamon Bun was delayed at the airport today. I just saw a tweet from him that he's heading over there, and there's
Nice.
quite a few other projects over there. So I'll be excited to do that. We got a couple of big things coming up in the next couple of weeks.
It's gonna be cool to watch on the live stream when you guys do that too for me. Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll get that.
I'm gonna tape my cell phone to my forehead. I'll wear a sweatband.
Whatever works.
I know, TJ, you gotta, it's not your fault. It's your mom's birthday and stuff. You got a funny story about that too. You're like, hey TJ, so you're coming down this week, and you're like, yeah, guys. So
yeah, I was like, Mom, can you watch my son this weekend for a little bit? Oh, for my 70th birthday party dinner. Never mind. I guess I'm coming to that.
Oh yeah, I was just kidding.
Next one. Yeah.
So we'll be missing you down there this weekend, but obviously we'll keep you guys updated out there, and if we do all the cool shit, we'll make sure to send you the videos.
FOMO.
Dude, yeah, it's been busy though, man. These weeks have been flying by at the same time. These sit downs and recording back-to-back weeks.
Fun,
I enjoy it, man. Definitely excited. And it seems like the space itself is now starting to mature a little bit too. So as we start to grow towards smart contracts and these blue chip projects start to, continue to settle in, and everybody starts to make their investments and see what the next plans are for some of this stuff. It's an exciting time to be in this space. 2022 is obviously going to be a whole new year, for the metaverse, for NFTs in general. So again, we're early. This is the fun. This is the fun part about this. Hey, yeah, that's the saying, right? We're all gonna fucking make it. We're gonna fucking make it, dude. Hey, at this point, Freedom 35 has got to be a reality. Look at, Fettuccine, you did it, right? Hey, it's inspiration, proof that anybody can go it out here. So we appreciate everybody listening and stuff this week. It's been a busy week for us, and we have exciting plans still up in the works. So look forward to seeing everybody down in Miami. If you're around, obviously hit us up. If you're are down there, we'd love to meet up with you guys, and look forward to dropping the Fettuccine interview. So it should be out by the time you guys hear this. So that was a fun one for us as well, and just look forward to talking with you guys. Any feedback that you have, we love all the comments and stuff on the videos that we're getting. So make sure to, you guys want to know anything, just let it, hit us up. We're always around.
Yeah, guys. Definitely. Yeah. Till the next one.
Till the next one, guys. Freedom 35s, baby.
Freedom 35s.